You're listening to EPN.
This is Enterprise Radio and your host, Eric Dye.
Welcome to Enterprise Radio. Once again, this is Eric Dye. Enterprise Radio is your EPN channel for exclusive interviews with entrepreneurs, small business owners, and top executives who have experienced great success, as well as the sharing of their latest creations, products, and or services that can help you build your business, leading to business success. Today, we are joined by Brian Brundage, the CEO of Intercon Solutions, an international electronics recycling firm. Brian possesses over 20 years of sales and marketing experience. Brian, thanks for joining us on Enterprise Radio.
Hello, Mr. Dye. Thank you.
You're welcome. Hello and good morning to you. So why did you decide to go into business for yourself? I'm sure all listeners are always curious about that decision.
For me, it was really about having an opportunity to let my creativity flow stronger than it was in working for somebody else. When you're generally working for somebody else, it's their guidelines, it's their program per se, and I really think that my creativity is a very unique attribute that I wanted to really get out there a bit more than it was.
What's the hardest thing, in your opinion, about being an entrepreneur?
To me, it's the startup. It's taking the time away from everything that you know is extremely important in your life to make the point of your business successful. So to me, it's a lot of hours. I remember in the beginning, I'd work from 5 in the morning until 2 in the morning sometimes, and take a couple hours of rest and then get back at it. So that to me is really, really tough. If you're trying to put it all in there and be successful, I believe you can. It's just in the beginning at the startup, it is a little it's a little cumbersome with the amount of time and stuff that you have to really put in to make it work. And then finding teammates, finding members of your team is really the second hardest thing because you really need a certain amount of people around you to run and operate a successful business.
Well, how has your company grown since you've started it?
Well, like we mentioned about the hours in the startup, for me, it's really just a lot of hard work, okay, and then trying to make sure that you associate yourself into the right relationships, okay? And what I mean by that is whether it's an employee, an associate, or whatever, I mean, like in my business where when I first got involved in Intercon, I had 2 employees, and then now today we have well over 100 nationwide. It's the type of thing that if you put in that hard work and that dedication, associate yourself with those right people and right relationships, I think that it's easy to make your company grow, and that's how we've grown.
Today we are joined by Brian Brundage, the CEO of Intercon Solutions, an international electronics recycling firm here on Enterprise Radio, a part of the Entrepreneur Podcast Network. What would be your secret of success, Brian?
Well, it's a secret, so I don't know, Mr. Dye, if I could really tell you because it's a secret. No, all kidding aside, I really believe that it's about believing that you can succeed, okay? And then I think it's also about knowing within yourself that your product you're selling or your strategies that you're working with are really top-notch. If you're not all in yourself, it's really tough to get other people, meaning your teammates and or your potential clients, to really see it as well. So you've really got to live and breathe it. And I really do that. It's really kind of it's as simple as if I go out to eat at a restaurant, I'm leaving my server a business card at the end of my experience. I'm promoting it all the time. And I believe so much in what I'm doing that it's easy to do that. I live and breathe it.
Brian, what's unique about Intercon's products and services?
Well, what separates us from other firms in our industry really is that we try to concentrate on basically building a domestic marketplace for our products, our raw materials and metals that come out of our demanufacturing operation. So, in essence, I always felt that it was nice to try to keep the materials domestically that we generate through this process to stimulate manufacturing here in the U.S. and jobs in the U.S. So I think that is probably our biggest unique attribute that we have as a company. Additionally, I think that that if you can take different services that you offer and make them a little bit more unique or a little different than everybody else, it really allows you to be set into a different area. If you're looking at 20 different people to do the same thing, and this one here does this and this extremely different on some level, they're going to take notice a little bit bigger at what you're doing, and then want to know more about it and why you're doing it differently than the other 20. So you really just got to have a real unique way of doing it, and that's what we've done in building Intercon Solutions.
Well, in conclusion, Brian, and customary on the program, what advice could you lend to the entrepreneur that's desiring to start a business or to initiate a creation of their own by putting it on the map in the marketplace?
I think, the first advice I'd always give would be, don't be afraid to work. Put the time in, get where you need to be, and then reap the benefits of being that entrepreneur. In reality, you win with people, okay? The quality of your team and the people that you associate with are really what will set your organization apart, from others in your industry. So, it's like trying to raise the bar a little bit better. It's like trying to hang out with people that you believe will benefit you in some manner, where you can learn something. I think that's really, really important is to look at the people you're surrounding yourself with, and to make sure that they have the right mindset and kind of bring something to the table to better your learning experience in being an entrepreneur.
Sound advice. He is Brian Brundage, the CEO of Intercon Solutions, an international electronics recycling firm, and the website of reference is interconrecycling.com. Brian, thanks so much for joining us here on Enterprise Radio.
Thank you very much, Mr. Dye. I appreciate your time.
You're so welcome, and this is Eric Dye, and you've been listening to Enterprise Radio, a part of EPN, the Entrepreneur Podcast Network. Check us out on Facebook and receive exclusive content that you do not want to miss. And once again, we do thank you for tuning in.
Thanks for listening to Enterprise Radio here on EPN. For more information or to subscribe to this podcast, visit epodcastnetwork.com.
This is the ePodcast Network.